Good afternoon. It is afternoon currently where I am. Hello, Leos. Taking some time to settle in and appreciate, everything, but this cup of Earl Grey tea. Mm. I'm excited about this reading. Oh, it's so good. Okay, I'm almost starting, I promise. Mm-mm-mm. I'm excited about this reading. I feel like this is going to be really big for you guys. The last one I did was Cancer, before Leo. I'm doing them in order. This is going to be a full moon reading for you, Leo. Already things are coming up. This is exciting. Get some assistance here. This is a full moon reading for you, Leo. All for you. Leo, Leo, Leo. All about you. I love it. I love Leos. Some of my favorite people in the world are Leos. My great grandmother was one, and I have a best friend who we will always remain best friends, and they will be in my heart forever. They are also Leo. So this looks important. Start there for now. Maybe that goes with that. This is a full moon reading. I keep getting sidetracked. For the full moon in Taurus on Halloween, October 31st through November 15th. So this is going to be for you throughout that time period. So let's see what's in store for Leo. Prepare myself here because I feel like there's something tricky to be worked out with this. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and right. Okay, it's getting confused. Okay, I definitely get the feeling that you have some very twisted views of yourself, and maybe this is something you're aware of. There's some really off perceptions about the self, and I feel like maybe you are aware of that. But I feel like the whole view that you have of yourself, having a really bad view of yourself, is in and of itself a twisted view. So I feel like this is might even be causing further confusion, or at least in terms of emotion, it's not good. I feel like you don't really know where to go. Maybe you have multiple options. Maybe that you have multiple pursuits or partners, romantically speaking, or it could be that. It could be actually in multiple areas, so maybe not even just that. Or if that's not applicable to you, I feel like it could be in terms of career, especially when we look at Taurus relationships and career. Maybe you have an opportunity to expand yourself within your current job or new job options, or you're not satisfied with where you're at. There's this whole thing revolved around decision making with the Seven of Shells. That's the water sign of this deck, Shells. And then we have the Moon reversed. So I feel like there's this huge deception of self, but also there's an awareness of like what's going on. And I feel like you're trying to make a decision about something, but you're not letting yourself have like all the good things that you want for some reason. And I don't really know if it's like self-torture or punishment. Let's look into this because I feel like this is pretty heavy stuff, and like I want to help you guys out. And I feel like this is going to be a time period for you to really uproot, and maybe you guys are already aware of this, but like this is going to be a time period from the 31st through November 15th for you to transform and to really like take a fine comb through all these things that you are looking at within yourself. And I kind of feel like, especially I feel like the people that I know who are Leos, I feel like this is something that you could be aware of your whole life and that you have been working on, or this is like a common running theme for you. It's like you can trust yourself, but for some reason you won't allow yourself to trust yourself, even though you know that you are right a lot of the time, and you're afraid to make that choice because of the probably self belief that you are working towards. Um, I would suggest maybe to help with this, do some like journaling exercises, or like, let's see, what could you do? for example, I'll try to think of something that's more helpful, but when I worked in the deli, we would have to pull apart chicken. So that you'd have to find something that, because the chicken would have bones in it, and we would have to remove the bones from pulling and shredding the chicken. Excuse me, drinking tea. I just ate lunch. So I would use my hand and like try to use my energy and scan, like just have your hand over something to try and locate the bones. And I would test my intuition that way. I recommend doing intuition tests for you guys. Um, so whatever that means for you, I'm trying to think of like what would be a good example. Like if you could have maybe something laying around the house, like a box, like a plastic storage bin or something small. You could put like sand in it or something, or maybe even like if you don't want to go out and buy anything, you could put like water and maybe food dye or something, and put, I don't know, maybe like put some pennies in there or something, and then get it to the point where you can't see it, shake it up where you don't know where they are, and try to like locate above the water with your hand where they are, and then really sit with that feeling for a good 20-30 seconds, and then see if you reach down and find one. So maybe put like 2 or 3 pennies in something. Do some kind of activity like that, or use what you have around your house. I highly recommend an intuition test for you guys, because it's going to build up your self-confidence, I think. So try something like that. Something that's really easy and not like into the life or death, into the world. Like if you get it wrong, you're not going to kill somebody or anything like that. Like leaving a bone in the chicken salad, for example. So whatever resonates with you from what I just said, um, look into that, because you want to build up your confidence. Confidence is something that's really key to Leo. And if you don't have the confidence, you're not shining as much. And not only do you not have as much to offer to the people you know, but it's really about you, because that's, what you're all about. One of the most amazing signs of the zodiac, because like centering around the heart, if we're thinking about Leo, Lion, the heart, um, the sun energy, sun in the heart, kind of makes me think of this joyous, like a star in the sky, but it's a very warm feeling, and it's in around the heart. Like when you're talking about pride and pride of the pack for lions, and you're talking about the common characteristic of Leo, just a blunt one would be like stage presence. Like I had something earlier that was really, but like basically stage presence, um, presenting yourself on stage, like being the center of attention. I think in our society that like definitely, well, and probably most people's views around the world, that kind of sounds selfish, but that's why I think the sign of Leo is so important, because you teach selfishness, and selfishness is actually healthy. And if you're not being selfish enough for your own needs, then you're not um, putting energy into that quality characteristic that is natural to you. And I think people would see that as you being tired, weak, down in the dumps, shy. So if you've been feeling reserved lately, that's okay. Take this time to like take care of yourself, and nurture the confidence that you have. I think intuition is going to help with that. That was a lot of talking on just 2 cards. So let's see. Let's keep going. It's like you keep waiting for someone else to give you permission, but you keep waiting for someone else to give you, or something else to validate and give you permission, but you have the permission. You are the permission. You get to go out and scope and decide. Like, don't leave it up to everybody else, because you actually know what's up more often than most people. So trust that. Maybe you've built a sense of comfort in your home life, in your personal life, and you're afraid. I feel like it's less like this, but the feeling I was first getting, well, logically, not feeling, is like, I don't want anybody to take away my possessions. Very Taurian thing as well, with full moon and Taurus. So maybe your mind is on, you don't want people to take, you're afraid of people taking away the prized possessions that you have, and this is probably much less materialistic and more about your energy and time and attention, and how you view yourself. So maybe you're afraid that someone's going to take all your attention, or maybe you're afraid that you're not giving yourself enough attention. All those worries really aren't helping you. Yeah, definitely take some time for yourself. I would suggest for this period, this is the hermit here. Really take some time at home, maybe rearrange some things, but really just kind of like get acclimated in your habitat. I feel like you probably already have done this, so it's not really something to do in order as like what I mean is it's not something to do to accomplish like a chore or something to improve your home. It's more like this koala here in the habitat. You're going to try to find ways of really enjoying yourself. And let's like, for these 2 weeks, I would recommend, Leo, that you really put all of the chores and responsibilities out of your mind. And when you are at home, it needs to be like a koala in a habitat, and you need to be enjoying your space. And you might find yourself protective of your space, and that's okay. But just be wary of like it's okay to protect your space as long as like you are still in your space and enjoying that space. But if it becomes a point where like you're becoming so guarded and so like boundary obsessed that it can not only become abrasive to other people, which is not really the problem for you, Leo. It's more about yourself, and you don't want to like dwell on this like and harbor this kind of like defensive attitude all the time because, well, not even just because, but right now it's just a really good time. These 2 weeks, 31st through November 15th, are going to be good for you to really dwell at home in a very comfortable way. So, as whatever that means to you, like lounging around the couch, sleeping in, like having like a sleepover, like a party, like wine painting party kind of thing, or like painting your nails kind of thing, if that's something you do, or like a woodworking, or like craft, or like just things to do at home. It's fine even to go out and like purchase things and stuff to do at home. Um, but I feel like for you, Leo, it's going to be more about like sensations and feelings. So like comfortable blankets. Maybe get a heated blanket if you don't have one. Winter's coming up. Um, Air quality. I keep feeling drawn back to the heated blanket. So I feel like Leo, especially for a fire sign, heat's going to be good for you. Have you guys thought about doing upgrades within your home, like a fireplace addition or restoration, or if you have an apartment or something? Do they make those things that are like visual? I just recommend maybe um, fireplaces, but just be careful. Obviously, disclaimer: don't burn anything down to the ground. But maybe light some candles when you're dwelling at home. Maybe reading, maybe learning something new. There's all kinds of things on YouTube that you can watch. So if there's something that you've been yearning to try to learn how to do or create, I would definitely suggest spending a lot of time with yourself. Because when we look at the Hermit card, it's not just about being alone. Although for you, I think that's important right now, Leo. But it's not just about having no one around you. It's mostly about what I was getting from those things was and cards was for you to feel comfortable at home. So here's a good exercise for you too, Leo, during this period. Have you been missing some things that you haven't found in a long time, maybe months? If you can, sit down and think of some things that you don't know where they are and haven't had been able to locate that you're pretty sure you've just lost and are laying around the house. Here's another intuition test, right? Come up with a bunch of lists of things that you could possibly think of that you don't know where they are, that you have. And then throughout these 2 weeks, see if you can't. Here, the goal is not to like go on a scavenger hunt, unless you feel like it. If you feel like bored and you're around at home, and you can do the same intuition test by like feeling around. Is one of the lost items I wrote down over here. Don't go to specifics, okay? But like, am I feeling drawn to this area? I think you might be surprised throughout this 2 week period how many items you might run across it, and maybe even ones that aren't on your list that you've been missing for a long time and you've forgotten about. I think that would be a really fun exercise for you because it combines the two: intuition, self confidence building, plus the comfort in home, which is going to be very important for you right now, especially with the full moon in Taurus. It's something that's important for Leos in general, but like a comfortable habitat in terms of a seclusion of space or like a place to feel comfortable in, a division of space that's all your own. You're like the ruler of the roost. That's the kind of vibes. So anything you can do to build that up and that confidence up, like maybe take pictures of your home and or maybe you can go on a walk or something. You can take pictures of your home, maybe to think about rearranging items in your home, but just some kind of way to look at your home in this whole new way and be like, wow, I have really good taste, or I have a really good setup here. I have things set up efficiently for me. I really have come a long way. I've really built something for myself, foundation. Anything that you can do to help remind you of that. So if it's taking pictures of your house and like showing people and be like, this is what I do, and seeing what they say, and be like, wow, that's really cool. Maybe because the whole idea is to get a new perspective on your home life. So I also would recommend, in combination with that, in place of that, if you take a walk somewhere or go out on a hike and it's starting to get cold, or maybe go shopping, do something for an extended period of time where your mind's totally taken away. And I don't really think work would be a good idea if you're working, so like something else, like do something that's preferably on your own or with one or two people, maybe one other person, but preferably yourself. Go take an hour or two, something that you can do, maybe go visit a friend, that you can stay away from the house and where you normally habitate, um, and then return. So like you want to have an activity where you're not thinking about your home or yourself really. So shopping is okay, but you don't really want to like think about. You just want to be, so maybe shopping would be okay with another person, maybe going out to eat, because you want to take your mind off things. Because what you want to have happen, or maybe take a nap at home. But I really feel like for you, Leo, you need to get out somewhere and then come back home with this clean slate of mind, refresh start. So like a hike is a really good idea. Of course, it's getting colder, so that might not be um, as possible. But something like that where you can remove yourself, come back home, and then once you head in the door from that break period, then I want you to try to look and be like, oh right, when I get home, I'm supposed, like as you walk in the door, I want you to remember then, hopefully, if not before then, or hopefully not before then, as much as you can, I want you to try to maybe even go get a massage or something, so your mind is really off of your home and yourself. Then when you get home, I want you to like set the intention, like before all this too, if you can. But the idea is to, once you walk through your door and enter your threshold, cross the threshold back home, after taking your mind off things, then I want the memory to come back to you and be like, oh right, now that I'm home, I'm supposed to look at my home with fresh eyes, as if I am a visitor for the first time, or someone that is a friend of the friend who lives here, aka me. So a friend of mine who has a friend who I've never met is coming over to see my house for the first time. Pretend to be that friend of a friend, and say that this place, I have no idea what it is. I think you would find, and maybe even take like a pen and paper, and see what kind of inspiration you get from your own design and own home life and own functionality and own like things like, yeah, some kind of coffee maker, or like what kind of things do you do around your house to make yourself comfortable, and what's your style like. I'm getting a sense of style. You've built a life for yourself, and now you're about to build emotional security for yourself in a way that you've never had before. Leos are definitely caretakers in terms of leadership, and in terms of the home and family or work life. So you take care of a lot of people. See, I feel like in your life you've done all this work, Leo, to build something for yourself. And that's all present. And now it's like you're working on building a new sense of security of self. This all, to me, seems to be like sense of self, emotional stability, and security. And you already have, I feel like, a lot of the things that you want, like the home life, the career, maybe. And you're flexible. Remember that, like a starfish, if something happens to you, you'll simply replace it. Very simple. The starfish doesn't worry if it has to regrow something and regenerate it. It just regenerates it. There's no problem. No problems. And you kind of want to be soft and gentle with yourself. This is the Eight of Shells. So this is the water sign. So this is more about like regrowing emotions. It's okay if you've suffered a lot in the past, or if things come up and things don't happen. Like someone's shitty to you, has bad attitude, doesn't see your worth, doesn't treat you with respect. It's okay because deep down you know the respect that you have, and you can also regrow those bad attitudes. So let's say someone ruins your day. Well, go home and sleep it off. Wake up the next day, regrow that limb. No big deal. You, if anybody, have the confidence and ability to really kind of inflate yourself to kind of look past those things. So use that ability. You've already kind of attained everything. This is the 10 of crystals. You've already kind of worked towards everything. I feel like maybe your mind, though, is on what you've accomplished, and maybe you're being really hard on yourself, either for all the things that you've accomplished. In other words, it's not been enough, or you still have a lot of work to do. But I do feel like it's more towards the latter thing. It's more towards facing the future, and I feel like you're worried about building even more. So maybe it's not even you don't have much of an insecurity about what you've built, but like how you've built it, and like you, I just feel like you're getting very, very insecure about yourself, Leo, and judging how you do things and accomplish things. But you've already accomplished a lot of things, and I know that you are aware of that. So what is it here? I think you're afraid of the future and of building more. Maybe you're afraid of taking on too much still in terms of like other people. Maybe you're afraid of not putting up those boundaries in the best ways, or like maybe you're afraid of not wanting to put up those boundaries because of how people might react. Because people can react very. Fire can be, intense and hot and like even just like a shock of flame can be like, ooh. Yeah, you need to be. This is your card, Leo. This is strength. And this is funny because I feel like for all the signs readings that I'm doing, the main qualities of each sign seems to be something that each sign seems to be insecure about right now. So remember the strength you have and the courage that you have and the bravery that you have to continue and wake up every day and go to work and deal with shitty people and things like that, and people that don't understand you and like might attack you for putting yourself out center stage. So there's nothing wrong with wanting to put yourself out center stage. You're you for a reason, Leo. You're meant to go out and shine. So go out and do it, and don't feel bad about it. And don't feel like like I know it can be exhausting to try and figure out boundaries and putting up boundaries for yourself, and you might get caught in between these extremes of like wanting to help other people, wanting to be there for other people and be the strength for other people, encourage for other people to like continue on their own paths and believe in themselves. But you got to put yourself first, Leo, and remember that you believe in you first. And if you don't believe in you, nobody else is going to, and you know that you do. So it's just that I think you've been preoccupied with other things, and I feel like you've been blocked, and I feel like it relates to what other people have going on in their life or what you're viewing other people. Yeah, you feel like you're taking care of everybody, and I don't think you're expressing it to them. So express it to someone, even if it's complaining to another friend. Just get it off your chest. Um, yeah, or pray about it if you pray, or in your mind, or like do some kind of mental exercise, or write it out. Journaling would be good for you. Okay? So I feel like you want to do things to help other people, but at the same time, you feel like you're their mother or father or caretaker, and it gets really old because you're like, I can take care of myself, you should be able to too. And it's not that you even despise these people, it's just that you're tired. It's because you need to direct your energy back inward. If, yeah, you've been on a dry spell lately, in terms of like detachment from yourself, or maybe things have been difficult for you this year, but I get a sense of aridness, like emotionally speaking. I feel like you've been giving a lot to other people. Um, and I feel like there's this big battle that you want to overcome, but I kind of feel like you should really forget about that. And we need to stop dwelling on this too, that things might be dry for you in terms of not a lot's going on in your life, maybe. Maybe there's not a lot going on in terms of work or friendship. Maybe things have really come to a standstill where there's not a lot of resources. That's kind of the feeling I get with the desert card for you. It's like a depletion of resources, or a feeling that there's not things there to help replenish you. But really, again, getting things off your chest, talking to somebody about it, praying about it, but by using the body. So either like literally praying, or doing something to like a massage and trying to let things go. Maybe dancing, something using the body, exercising, but you don't want to dwell on these things. something you need help though, because I feel like you guys are dwelling on this desert. So how can we become? What does Leo need help with? You have a lot of passion, Leo, and you don't be afraid to take action, and don't be afraid, really, more so than take action. It's following your passion. Reawaken a passion, but I don't really feel like the passion's dead. I just feel like you need to remember that you are a passionate being, and you're like the most, aside from Scorpio, you're the most passionate sign. You have a lot of sun and warmth in you, Leo. Your passion is your stage presence. You like being center stage, and there's a reason for that, because you have a lot to offer. You have a lot to offer. So don't be afraid to show it. I think your mind is on way too much. Okay. Your mind is on way too much. You're judging your actions way too much. You're thinking that your actions and your attitude and your behavior and stuff and the way you handle people and approach people is too harsh, when even if people feel like you might be harsh, it's not true. Like, you need to trust yourself a lot more and not be so afraid to wield the power that you have. And it's a lot in the mind. So, like, you have a powerful mind in speech. And I think that scares you, Leo. I think you enjoy it, but I think you're aware of how sensitive you are, and you know like what you're doing, but I think you feel like it's a weapon. Like, maybe in the past you've hurt somebody with it, or you've even hurt yourself with it. Maybe you found yourself saying things that you don't want to say, or that you didn't think you would say, and that maybe you find that after saying something, you don't like the way that you feel. But I feel like we're going to dive into this, because I feel like you've been doing things, Leo, that are. I want to help you, Leo. I think things are happening for you, and I think I understand what's going on. So let me see if I can help you, okay? You need to follow your passion and trust your senses and trust the urges that you have within. Yeah, we'll get there. Take this in really quickly. Okay, let's just dive into it. I think I get it. I don't know. I get the feelings. I don't know exactly how to. Okay, the dead end, the weight that you have is coming to an end. The blockages, they're all going to be released if they haven't been already, and if you're aware of it or not already, it's a thing of the past. No, nothing's going to weigh you down anymore. You've got to start believing in yourself, though, and I know that you do. So this is probably all ringing something within you all. All that stuff is over, so don't dwell on it, because it's not useful. You've already learned from it, so why continue to dwell on it? You have a passion, you have a driving force. The Queen of Acorns, she's someone who goes forward. Don't be afraid to go forward. You know how to act, but it's not just about action. It's about how you use your power. And the Queen of Acorns knows exactly how to do that, and she enjoys doing it. She's someone who enjoys strategy, but it's like a queen who is really good at using strategy to overcome something. Like, for example, I'm drawn to this example of Queen Elizabeth trying to use strategy to prevent as many deaths in certain battles and things, like in the Spanish Armada. Like, here's a good example: Spanish Armada, because like she learned a lot throughout her life, right? And one of those things was, I wonder what her sign was. I'm curious now. um, but I might look that up because I'm really curious. Um, but I'm being drawn to like how she built and probably learned through things throughout her life that caused her to, when she was later in life at the moment of deciding things and strategizing, when she brought in the Spanish, or she was fighting the Spanish Armada. I can't remember the exact strategy, but there was something to do with boats, or maybe she got help from, I can't remember exactly what happened. But she went through a lot in her life, and she went through a long reign. So we're thinking Queen of Acorns, that's why I'm talking about Queen here. I'm thinking about using strategy to the best of your ability. And the reason is, she wanted to use strategy not to be smarter than anyone, not to outsmart anyone, or to win battles. The goal for her, I believe, was not only to protect her people, but like in terms of the country, but to protect all of her people, including first those on the front lines, and those fighting, and those in the ships, those her allies helping her, risking their lives. I think it was really important for her. I mean, I don't want to speak for her, but I would assume that it was really important for her to save as many lives as possible. And I think for her, it was a driving force to be an unrelentless, unwavering force, someone who does not surrender, and sees it through to the end with the best results possible. So it kind of has all of that energy entwined into it. And so that's where you're getting into. So don't be afraid. You're getting ready to go on a journey, Leo. A lot of your senses and abilities have really been opening up. And I think a lot of the weight that you carry towards yourself is a result from the gifts you have. Maybe you're empathic. Maybe you pick up feelings or thoughts of other people, or you just have an inner knowing, or you see things visually. But you have a gift, and this is something that you have to offer to the world. Okay, so you're about to go on a journey with that and expand those abilities if you're aware of them. If you didn't know, I'm going to tell you right now the chances of you being a healer, channel, psychic, medium, those things are very high. We're going to get into that. And this is a period where that's awakening within you. Let yourself go into this process and allow yourself to receive and open up to the abilities that you naturally possess that you're learning about. I think a lot of things that's going to be coupled with a lot of change going on in your life right now, a lot of intense things that have probably already happened or are in the process of happening or have recently happened that you're still kind of working through. Um, those are relating to the process that you're about to go through. I think you're going to be waking up a lot of your own personal gifts and abilities. I think you might start hearing things like voices more, watch your dreams. So things on an outward level might be, or this year might have fallen, like seem to be crumbling down, like you might have lost a job or relationship, a family member, things, or all this weight might be aware and heavy on you and weighing on you. You might, there's this energy of feeling like everything's changing and it feels like scary and for the worse, like everything I have is crumbling and falling apart and I don't know. Maybe I know what I'm doing, but it just feels like everything around me is not supporting that. Don't be afraid. That's all happening for a reason, and it's happening in response to the changes within you and the changes that are coming for you and along your journey. And you're starting this journey now around Halloween time. It's going to be a lot's going to be revealed to you, probably in dreams or if you do meditations or rituals. I would suggest doing a full moon ritual, maybe using some rose quartz or some like a sunstone, or a yellow stone. Um, Citrine would be really good for you guys. Okay. So, and then also the sun came up for you and it's reversed. I feel like you don't see the joy in yourself. I feel like, well, it's more than that. It's not just emotions. I feel like you don't see the joy in your abilities, and they're definitely there. I think because you are bogged down by what I feel like it's causing you to, maybe you feel when you're at work or around people, or maybe you felt drawn to say something to a stranger that to you might seem uncomfortable, or like, why would I want to say that? But I feel like you've been feeling drawn. As a medium, this has happened to me, and this is the feeling I'm getting reminded of. I feel like you've been urged to say things that you didn't want to say, or like, I don't want to say that to that person, I don't know them that well. Something along those lines, but you found yourself saying something that makes you uncomfortable. I feel like you really doubt, but you really doubt your abilities and your voice. I feel like you've said something, or maybe in the heat of a moment, you have lashed out and said something angrily, or something along those lines, and had an attitude, the kind of energy quality to it, to where you regret something, you regret your attitude, or you feel like, I just feel like there's these negative thoughts about myself, like I'm feeling negative, like I shouldn't have said that to them. Who am I to say that? I didn't mean that. I got heated, or I feel like what I'm saying is bringing anxiety to people and making people upset. I feel like those are feelings you're having, and I want you to know that those are natural feelings for you, and they're naturally occurring for you. And what's actually going on with these people, and why I can't tell you exactly why, because that's personal for you. Why you're having all those negative reactions for you, towards yourself, but I can tell you that they're happening for a reason, and why that they're happening, and what they're happening from is because of this internal change that's going on within you. You're becoming like a vessel. Your heart is opening up to, at least to yourself, if not to others, and you're shifting. Literally, we have this shapeshifter card. I'm going to get more into that here in just a second. I'm trying to wrap this up because this is getting into a lengthy reading for you, Leo. This is very important. I think you need to hear this. The reason why you feel insecure about like saying things to other people, or if there's insecurities around other people and activity or more behavior that you've expressed towards others recently, and you judge yourself for this behavior, it's because you don't really fully understand it yet. But this behavior within you is coming out very naturally, and it's supposed to be there. And the reason it can seem abrasive is because it might be new within you, and you might be fighting it first of all. So that can be some of the abrasion. it might feel abrasive to other people because you have a fiery nature, so it's going to be like that. But some people need, it's like putting a fire under someone's ass, lighting a fire on someone's ass. What is that? Is that the expression? It's that expression. Put a light under somebody, like get them going. You are that passionate force for people. It's like you need to awaken people and give them a jolt sometimes. Don't be ashamed of that. That's a gift that you have. You're awakening things in people. You're burning things away that people no longer need, like this cloudy weight some people can't get rid of. Sometimes you're the flame that burns the dead weight for people. So that can come across and it can feel bad to you, and it can come across to other people as, like, wow, what a shitty person with an attitude, or a bitch, or an asshole dick. You know, why, how dare they say that to me? How dare they have that kind of attitude? Like, who are they? Well, they don't need to know that, but they know who you are, and so do you, more importantly. And if you show that, it's going to become evident to them that, oh, this is someone not only who I should be listening to, but who I want to listen to, because I can feel and I can hear that they know what they're talking about. Because you do. And anyway, more importantly, you're going through energetic and psychic shifts. I mean, I'm just going to say it bluntly. I feel like you're really opening up into gifts. And part of that gift coming out and expressing itself is going to, especially as you learn how to use it and become aware of it, it might become abrasive to people, because a lot of people, myself included, don't want to hear the truth. We don't. It's just as people. You can see that in the politics now. People don't want to see the truth. The truth is out there, and so many people are still fighting that truth. And I don't want to get into politics, but you know what I mean, probably. So uh, people don't want to feel uncomfortable. So I think an important message for you, Leo, is just because you make people feel uncomfortable doesn't mean that you personally are causing that in them. It's changes that the person themselves are calling for, that you are simply a catalyst for, that and it might express itself in attitude or something outwardly that you can pinpoint and be like, oh, I don't like that. But the only reason that that's happening is because those people are calling for something that only you can provide them on a subatomic spiritual level. And some of you may even know this consciously, but you're being drawn to these people and you're doing these things for a reason. You're causing people to, you're not only shape-shifting yourself, you are a shapeshifter, Leo. You're causing people to shapeshift and awaken within themselves. Very, very powerful, important gift. You're causing people to wake up and really experience the radiant sunshine that they naturally possess themselves. So you're reminding them through your own sunshine that they have their own sunshine too, and that's your gift. More to be said about the shapeshifter card, though, as we wrap this up. This has to do with, I feel like, I'm feeling a multitude of things. This has to do with your abilities. So whether that's mediumship or like you're just going to know what to tell people, you're going to know what item is right for them. You might want to look into herbalism if you haven't already, or things like this, crystals. Excuse me. So sorry. But I'm refusing to edit things anymore because I feel like you should be proud of yourself. Like, all things are natural, even like processes within the body are natural, and you should not be ashamed of them. So that's something like Leo has taught me, is like how to be proud of yourself. And it's not like you have to go like burp in someone's face. That's not my point. But the point is to not cower in fear about anything about yourself, because you are so perfect as you are, but not just perfect as you are. You are the lion force. You are that heart-warming lion warmth of the sun that never ends. You know, the earth spins and rotates. So for 12 hours, roughly, about half of the globe is blocked from the sun. But if you take a look at the sun, it is constantly emitting this warmth and radiance. That is you, Leo, and you are a shapeshifter, and you're going through shapeshifting abilities right now, which includes gaining and opening and cultivating more and new abilities that you may or may not be aware of. So heads up there. These also, I get the feeling, are going to be more physical in terms of abilities. So whether that's, you know, we're going into these types of abilities further down the road in terms of Earth history and time. So this is more like 20-ish to 40 years from now where these things really start to become big. But for you, Leo, I feel like they are more physical rather than just like being a medium and channeling energy. I think that you either are very physically perceptive to energy, and also it's going to come in terms of in manifestation forms of actual like manifestations. Like you're going to start manifesting the things you're thinking about much more quicker. You're going to know what items are best for people when they say I have this issue, or like I don't know what to decide. You might find yourself saying like I think you should go with that one. Don't be afraid to follow that gut feeling and encourage people to do what you know is best for them, because that's part of your gift, and it has to do with physical manifestation. So if you have a dream about something, pay attention to it. And if you like, if something, if you think about something and it manifests in your experience, pay attention to that, and maybe hang on to that because you might need to use it for something. Keep your eyes open because the universe and spirit is going to be putting things quite literally in your path, objects, and what else? Meditation might be good for you during this period. I would even suggest like looking up how yogis and monks meditate and can levitate. Because for you, I feel like your abilities here are really pulling me towards physical abilities, shit like literal shape shifting. So, in terms of literal expression, within these next 2 weeks, are things gonna like morph between your eyes? Probably not, but you can even do like small things, Leo. Like on Halloween might be a good time to do this. See if you can't cultivate and manipulate flame, telekinesis, or pyrokinesis, I mean. Uh, and just play with it. Have fun. That's what I suggest. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself in front of fire. I really recommend that. Look into the sun. I know a lot of people are afraid of, so if it goes against your health beliefs, then don't do it. I know it goes against like 99% of what science tells us to do, and you don't look in the sun for very long, just 2 seconds. That's all it takes. But the sun gives you energy, just like it gives you energy in your skin and vitamin D. You can absorb that through your eyes too. The ancient Egyptians did that in a practice, and they got that for a reason. It does work. So I would suggest connecting with your element more. Fire and the sun, whether it's like sitting in the sunlight, because it's dwindling now. If you're in the United States, the sunlight is going to be dwindling. And I think it was the northern hemisphere or whatever. Yeah, northern hemisphere, we're going to be going through less light now. So try to absorb as much light as you can from the sun. Look at the sun if that feels comfortable for you for a brief moment, and really establish more of a relationship with fire and the sun. Nostradamus, I'll just end on this note. Nostradamus did meditations where he would fire gaze. I recommend fire gazing for you all, Leo, especially on Halloween night. Are you afraid of the dark? You shouldn't be, because you're Leos and you're the strongest sign, so go out there and roar. Do you know, I currently work and I'm finishing work at the Louisville Zoo. Every morning the lion roars, and it is quite an astonishing sound if you've never heard a lion roar in person, especially on more than one occasion. It's quite powerful stuff, and it's beautiful. And that to me is what Leo is. So don't feel afraid, and don't forget that that's your power, and don't feel afraid to use it when you feel comfortable after you've spent time at home relaxing and gathering your strength and taking care of yourself during this full moon Taurus. Go out there and roar, because you are ferocious, and ferocity, I think, in our culture has come to be a negative thing because of the heavy masculine energy, patriarchal dominance kind of energy. But ferocity can actually be quite feminine and also balancing. It doesn't have to be masculine or feminine, but ferociousness it is a beautiful thing, and we need you, Leo. We need the Leo warriors to help us remind ourselves how strong we are. We need you. So don't give up on yourselves, Leo. You are strong. We see it. We see it. Everybody sees it. Okay? You are center stage, even when it doesn't feel like it, and even when you don't want to be in those moments. You're center stage for a reason, Leo. You're born as a Leo for a reason, Leo, because it's all about you. Let people revolve around you. You are the sun. Let them revolve around you. Be the son of the force. Does the sun sit there and beat up on itself and be like, oh, they're not doing what I want to do, so I'm gonna have to go in here and meddle and no, what I'm trying to get at is the sun has its own central force that it does not forget. It is the center of the universe, the galaxy, the Milky Way. It is the center. It is the life force. it bears the weight of centrality, and all things around it center and rotate and gravitate. So you are the heart of everyone. So you have amazing qualities, and I'm trying to get you to see them because I feel like you can see them and you do know them, but I really feel like Leo, I feel like you don't see how other people see you. And maybe for you, Leo, it's best to not worry about it. Don't worry about how other people see you, and just maybe take comfort in the fact that I'm telling you, we see you as like the most beautiful, the most charming, powerful, in tune, radiant, successful, put together people, leaders. Like you've got it all. Everyone looks at you and knows that you've got it all. So remember that you have it all and share it and roar. Don't forget to roar. Put up your boundaries and don't be afraid of that. That you need the boundaries. And I feel like you know that, and I feel like you just get insecure about your boundaries because I think roars can be really scary to people. But it also tells people, hey, this person is not afraid to express themselves. And you know what? They're right. I shouldn't be either. Hmm. I think there's this negative tension too. I'll just leave on this. I think there's this negative tension about self-centeredness and being center stage and being like an actor, celebrity, like, ooh, like they think they're so full of themselves because they're famous or like they have it all. And there's like this negative quality that can be attributed to it because of like we usually look at people in the limelight with a judgmental view. But when you look at your favorite performer, favorite artist, favorite actress, it's that kind of feeling when you see your favorite person at the top of their game doing whatever it is they do. That kind of passion and warmth and love that you feel, like if you lose yourself and you can't even like think straight and you're gonna pass out at like thinking about being at your favorite concert, or if you've gone to a favorite concert or seen a celebrity, or if you imagine meeting your favorite celebrity, um, live or dead, because like you want to get that excitement level to where you can't even think straight, like you're like, oh my god, almost like like that kind of feeling you want to get to. That feeling to me, Leo, is exactly what Leo is. Okay, so that is you as a person. So the more you can cultivate that, and remember, like, that's how people see you. Like, we lose our minds and hearts. Like, you make us go crazy because you're so amazing and powerful. You're like the force of the universe, the heartwarming force of the universe. And don't, because I feel like there's just so much for you that I'm trying to get it all out. And I don't think there's any problem with that. So, you know what? Take it all in. Take on all this affection, Leo, because it's meant for you. You are adored, okay? You are adored. So take it all in. And don't be afraid to accept and draw out compliments. Who cares? Take those compliments and be like, yeah, yeah, that's me. Heck yeah, do those hair flip things or whatever. That's the kind of attitude I want you to have these next 2 weeks. At first, take it a little slow, take it at home, rest, and build up your confidence. And then throughout, after Halloween, as you go out more in public, I think you might find a new you expressing yourself and be like, whoa, this person is real powerful that I'm becoming, and I love it. And you should. Hug yourselves. Give yourself a hug. Happy full moon. Happy Halloween. Take care.